your point of view is correct and the other point of view is incorrect, or it is not something that we should attend to or we should listen to. Four things: A, P, T, R. We talked about these in the article writing or in the email writing also, and here we are going to talk about them in article writing as well, because all directed writing tasks are going to deal with them. So any question that is given there, any audience that is given there a question, you are going to write, you are going to keep that audience in your mind while writing your article. So audience is the person you are writing for, right? The purpose, why are you writing, your reason for writing, whether you are writing to convince someone or you are writing to just present your argument, or you are writing to show that whatever you think is correct, or you are just fighting your case, anything, but the purpose must be very clear to you. When your audience is clear, you know that you are writing for young people, you are going to set your tone according to that. Your tone can be formal, informal, neutral, serious, sarcastic, encouraging, humorous, and critical, and many others as well. So if they are young people, the tone of article, it can be formal to semi-formal, or we can say from semi-formal to formal register. When you are clear about the audience, you have set a tone, then all the words that you choose, the vocabulary that you are going to use, it must be according to your audience. So that is the choice of or choosing right words for the right audience. Once you have the question in front of you, you have to deal with these two bullet points. First one is evaluate the ideas and opinions in both texts. You are going to have two stimulus texts. You will read them, and the marks that you are going to get, they are going to be for evaluation and giving your own opinion. This is going to be your article, you are going to write about it. When you write, you factor must be very clear in that whatever you believe in, you are writing that. So you need to evaluate the both texts that you have been given, and then you will have to come up with your own ideas based on whatever you have read in the text. This is not something that you can write out of that text. You will have to write, you have to comment on, or you have to evaluate the ideas given in the text. Now these are the texts. You will be given one or two stimulus texts. These texts present two contrasting, two different points of view, and they are two different perspectives. Remember, when you have two different perspectives, that means that either of them can be correct or both are correct, but you are going to write, you are going to give your opinion about something that you believe in, or you think that this is right to do. Then when you are going to evaluate, what basically we do, we have to read both texts, analyze, evaluate both. Now we have discussed the difference between analysis. Analysis is something when you read a text, you just analyze that why the writer has used this word, why the writer has used this phrase, why the writer is using this specific word. You do not give your own opinion that whether this is correct or not. When you evaluate, you give your own opinion, and you just tell that anything that the person is writing, in your eye, in your opinion, that is correct or not. You judge that. That is evaluation. So you have to evaluate both the perspectives and form your own opinion. Decide which perspective is close to your opinion or you agree with. Then agree with one of the opinions and give your own views to endorse that and reject the other one. Then all the directed writing tasks that we have, they have some conventions. All the directed writing tasks, like if you are writing an article, it must have a headline or an article. If you are a headline or a title. If you are writing a letter, if it is a formal letter, it must have a subject in that, it must have a salutation, valediction in that. If that is an email, it must have salutations and valedictions in that. So all the conventions must be there when you are doing directed writing task. Another thing, that all the directed writing tasks must have a proper introduction, body and closing paragraphs. Then what do we do in the introduction paragraph? In introduction paragraph, state the purpose of writing very clearly. In body, evaluate and develop the text, and closing, summarize, endorse and ask for action if required. Then we have adopt evaluative tone by using the following phrases. When you are going to evaluate, you have to journalize it. You do not going to take or copy points from the text. You are going to take points, but you are going to journalize them. You are not going to say that if you have Hamza, if you have Alia, if you have Aisha in the text, you are not going to mention that. You are not going to mention text A or text B by names in your article writing or in your directed writing task. You will journalize everything the way it is going to be something like it is your article, you are writing it, and everything that you are saying here, you are just mentioning people that you know that they think something is like that. You are not going to write or you are not going to copy text from the given points that you have. So how you can adopt evaluative tone? You can write, it is often said that, many believe that, it is widely acknowledged that, there is a general consensus that, it is commonly thought that, some people argue that, there is a perception that, it has been suggested that, research suggests that. So all the points that you are going to have in your directed in your text A and text B, you are going to journalize them with the help of these in your second and third paragraph, and even you can start it from the first one. There is no specific, I had been telling you before that there is no specific number of paragraphs, but don't write less than 3 and more than 5. And because I suggest 4 paragraphs, because for directed writing tasks where your word limit is 250 to 350 words, 4 paragraphs are quite enough, and they give a kind of a beauty to your document also. But if you want to go with 3 paragraphs, then after writing 2-3 lines for introduction, you should start evaluation right from the first paragraph. Start with margin. When you are writing, start it with this margin line. Start it with, wait a minute, yes, start it with margin line, write like this. And to show, now here paragraph ends, to show that my paragraph is finished, you are going to start next paragraph by leaving a line in between. That these are the things that they are not going to get you marks. You are going to get marks for your evaluation and your opinion, your error-free document, your error-free piece of writing. But if you follow these things, you are going to leave a good impression on the examiner's mind. So that's why I want you to do that. Start your lines with margin, don't leave indent, and leave a line after each paragraph. For evaluation, underline all the related points, one perspective, other perspective, advantages, disadvantages, and discuss them one by one with your own opinion. Be with me. Today I have 2 different types of articles for you while we reach the end. Edit your essay, make an idea of words and check it for grammar, spelling and punctuation errors. Do not use capital letters carelessly. I always talk about this. This is something that I always repeat whenever I do I do a video on directed writing tasks. Then write 250 to 350 words. Do not go beyond the word limit, as if you drag your topic, it will become bland, uninteresting and monotonous. So just stick to the word limit. Now let's talk about the article writing. Article is something like this. If we just have a look at this, this is an article and it has this title here. This is an article from a magazine. This is an article, you can see. So when you write an article, your heading, your title, your headline must be very prominent. Then after that you can write your own name. Okay, let's read this. writing an article, just an overview. The purpose of an article is often to inform and persuade the reader. Articles give the reader information about a certain topic, bringing together and discussing different perspectives to provide balanced argument which lets the reader make up their own mind about the topic. Articles can also be used to persuade the reader that a certain viewpoint is correct and the other one is incorrect. For example, articles in newspapers or magazines might express a particular point of view or viewpoint or perspective. This may be positive or negative depending on the topic. The ways you use language and organize your ideas when writing an article will depend on the audience and the purpose you are writing for. Then this was an overview of the article. What is the in the format that we follow, that is 2024 2026 format, and even 2027 2028 also. In that we have an argumentative article, we have a discursive article, and we have a persuasive article. There is no place for just an informative article anymore. You have to make your article argumentative, persuasive, or discursive. Now think about the language. When we start writing an article, what is the first thing that we should think about? The audience that the article is for. When writing an article, you do not usually know your reader. You do not know them personally, because you are writing for a magazine. Anyone can open the magazine and read it, and so you will need to think about their likely interest and experience before you write. In this case, when you are writing it for your school magazine, maybe, then there might be students of your school, young people, they are going to read it. So you can just think that what are the interests of young people, and when you are writing, what kind of words you should use. So you should keep audience in your mind while writing your article. Second one is how you expect or want your audience to react. Remember that the tone of most articles should be semi-formal. So before deciding on your tone, imagine your article being read out loud and how that might sound to your reader. For example, an article reviewing a film may be humorous, even sarcastic, but that would not work well for more serious readers or topics. So audience is the most important thing. When you are writing any kind of directed writing task, including this article, your audience must be in your mind all the time. The purpose for the article is the purpose or reason for writing your article to persuade your reader to agree with you, or to invite your readers to think about different points of view and decide for themselves. For example, do you need to sound reliable and well informed, or choose words that strongly convey a particular emotion? Then we have the last one, how to keep your readers' interest. If your article is not interesting, I might read first few lines and then I move to the next page. So how to engage your reader, or how to keep the interest of your reader? Imagine how boring it would be for your reader if you use the same kind of sentences and simple repetitive vocabulary all the way through your article. Try to include a range of grammatical structures and relevant vocabulary to make sure that your reader wants to keep reading. So you have to engage your reader throughout the article if you want them to read the article. How to organize your article? First of all, plan a route through your article before you start writing it. The structure of an article is usually in 3 parts. For example, an introduction. Engage your reader's interest and introduce your argument or the main point of the topic to be discussed. That means write the introduction or state the purpose of writing very clearly, that why are you writing this, and what is the typing there, what is the purpose of writing, and what is the reason for writing, or what actually you are writing about. You need to state it very clearly in the introduction lines. They can be first 2-3 lines of your article. Then you must have a middle. I mostly tell you that second and third paragraph is your middle. You can, if you are going with 3 paragraphs, right after 2-3 lines you can start the middle. Otherwise, write introduction in 4-5 lines and then start with second paragraph and develop the text there. That will make the middle of your article. Develop relevant and interesting points about the topic to interest and or convince your readers to think about a particular perspective. Then end or closing or conclusion of your article. Draw your points together and leave your reader with a clear impression of argument you want them to believe or viewpoints you would like them to consider. Organize your ideas into paragraphs as appropriate. This will help you to develop and support your points convincingly. To build your argument, offer a full explanation of a particular point of view. Show your reader at a glance what your article is about. Articles usually have a suitable headline to attract the reader's attention, and you can choose to use subheadings. That is totally your own choice. That is optional. If you want to write subheadings for your articles, you can do that. A bit like mini headlines to help break your articles about a move about our article up and move your reader on. Do not overdo these, but well chosen subheadings can help to catch and keep your reader's attention, as well as sum up the main points you are making. So you can write subheadings also. Show the connections between ideas in sentences and paragraphs. For example, where a new point or idea follows on from what you have already said, you might use linking words or phrases. We know them as transition words, such as in addition, likewise, similarly, however, furthermore, additionally, in conclusion, in a nutshell. These are the words, these are transition words that you can use while you are writing any kind of directed writing task in your article as well. Now this is an article, and here the most prominent thing is this heading or this headline or title. When you are writing, your headline or title must be very clearly written there, and it must be intriguing and interesting as well. When I read this, I must stand there. I should think that, okay, what is it about? Let's read it. Yes, you can. Okay, what is this that I can? Let's read it. So it must make your reader read the article. It should not go and move forward without reading it. Then look at this, artificial intelligence. Your title is the main part of your article. Here they have used subheadings. These are subheadings. If you want to use them, you can go with them, but this is totally your choice. If in your exam, if you're writing for your paper, so it's totally fine if you avoid writing headlines, these subheadings. It's okay with then we have, okay, there, that is the format of the article. In format of article, title or headline, here you write byline. That means the name of the author. Anyone who is writing can write their name here. Then your article must have an introduction. You must have body paragraph, second and third, and you must have closing. We do not write any valediction or something like that at the end. We just simply close it by summarizing and by giving our very strong opinion at the end. We just end it there. We end it with closing paragraph. Now let's have a look at this. We have two different points of view, and your question is, write an article for young people, whether they should give more attention or pay more attention to their studies or extracurricular activities. Basically the point is that whether academics are more important or extracurriculars are more important. So here we have two different points of view. When we are going to write an article for young people, we will read them, and by writing this we will underline different points that we have. If I find 7, 8 or 9 points, I will give them numbers also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'll do the same on the other side also. I'll take out the points and then I'm going to use them in my article. If you want to get 10 out of 10 in your content, we know that we have 10 points for content and 15 points for quality of writing or accuracy of writing. So you can give them numbers, and if you have 9 points on each side, so if you want to get 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 in content, you need to use almost all of them. If not all, you need to use wide range of ideas to get good bands in your content. Or when you are writing, you need to think about utilizing all the points that you have here. Now look at this one. We are writing, now we have to write an article for young people. The first article that I'm writing, this article has argumentative nature. That means that I'm going to discuss both the points, but I'm not going to favor any one of them. I'm going to just create a kind of a balance there, and in the last paragraph I'll just write about it, that whether which one in my opinion is more important. So here is a title for this, that books or basketball, the real winner in social life. Then I have, this is the title. Do not write a title that is more than 5 words. Like this can also be one title, books or basketball, this can be one, and the real winner in school life, this can be one title. After that, write your byline. Now here I have written Khadija, write your name here, that whoever is writing, write it here, and then start writing the introduction. Here I have written these, that you can have these titles also, like brains and beyond, finding the perfect school balance, the tug of war between studies and activities, grades versus games, chalkboards or chair squads, lessons in class and on the field, the great school debate, study hard or play hard. These are different titles, so you should come up with something that is very interesting and very eye-catching. Now this is introduction. That was the previous one, that books or basketball. Then this is introduction. Here I am trying to create a balance. When it comes to school life, the big question is often this: what matters more, academics or extracurricular activities? Some say nothing should come before grades, while others believe that life lessons are learned best outside the classroom. Let's explore both sides before deciding which takes the crown. So remember, do not use that text A say this and text B say this, says this. Now here remember one thing, that is your article. You don't have any text in your hand, or you don't have something in your mind while writing. The person who is reading, he should not think that you are taking points somewhere. He should think that this is the original opinion of one person. So it must look like your article, that it is your article. Now I have started evaluating from here. This is my second paragraph. Supporters of extracurricular activities argue that school is about more than just scoring marks. They believe joining clubs, teams or performance groups teaches lessons no textbooks can offer, like teamwork, resilience, leadership and the ability to handle pressure. A shy student might find their voice in a drama club, while a sports team can build confidence and discipline. Such activities can also make life less stressful, give students an outlet for creativity and help them become well-rounded individuals who can adapt to real-world challenges. Here this paragraph is in the favor of extracurricular activities, whereas the third paragraph is in favor of academics. On the other hand, now this is a transition word. You are supposed to use this kind of transition words while doing a directed writing task. On the other hand, many believe academics should remain the top priority. Strong grades in core subjects like science, maths, and language often determine university admissions, scholarships, and career opportunities. Without solid academic foundations, talent in sports or arts may not be enough to secure a stable future. Some students get so caught up in competitions and events that they neglect homework or exam preparation, which can harm their long term goals. The argument here is simple: you can always enjoy hobbies later, but you only get one chance to build a strong academic base. This is in favor of the second one. First one was in favor of extracurricular, this is in favor of academics. Now the conclusion, fourth paragraph, the last one. So which, or here I can write in a nutshell or to sum up, or so, which is more important? The truth might be somewhere in the middle. Academics shape the mind while extracurricular activities shape the person. For young people, the smartest path may be to strike a balance, study hard, but also make time for stage, the court, or the band. After all, success isn't just about topping an exam, it's about being ready for life both inside and outside the classroom. Now, here, if you are in favor of one, you can clearly write in favor of one of them. Otherwise, this is an argumentative one, and we are leaving it to the audience that they can decide which one is correct for them. Now, the next article that I'm going to write, that I'm going to show you, that is a kind of a persuasive article. And when we have this persuasive article, the title is also different. From the title, we can understand that this is in favor of one point of view. So I'm writing it with success begins with study. That means I'm in favor of this. And then byline, Bilal Munir. Then I have a few more article suggestions here. Why grades should be your true goal. Study first, shine later. Winning starts in the classroom. The power of pen over pitch. Marks matter most. Before the match, master the math. Grades, your real ticket to the future. So these are the titles that show that I'm in favor of academics. In the same way, we can do it otherwise also. We can write if we are in favor of extracurriculars, we can write the titles that show that extracurricular are more important than studies. So my first paragraph starts here for a persuasive. Here, this is a persuasive article. Here I'm trying to convince the young people that studies are more important than extracurricular activities. So now this is my introduction paragraph. In the exciting chaos of school life, it's easy to be swept away by the thrill of sports matches, drama, rehearsals, and music performances. But let's be honest, while these activities are fun and enriching, academics must always come first. So I have made my mind clear in the first paragraph. Now I'm evaluating it, and remember, we have to talk about both the perspectives. We cannot just give our opinion about one of them, text A or text B. We have to discuss both of them. The truth is simple. Your grades and knowledge open the doors to your future. Whether you dream of becoming a doctor, engineer, lawyer, or scientist, strong academic results are your ticket in. Universities, scholarships, and employers all look at one thing first: your academic record. Now remember, we are using the points given in the text. We are not writing something on our own. We have taken out points from the text. A medal in football might look great on your shelf, but an excellent report card will take you places a trophy cannot. Third paragraph. Some students think they can juggle everything equally, but in reality, too much time in clubs or competitions often means late night homework, rushed assignments, and lower marks. You can enjoy hobbies and sports throughout life, but the years you have to build a solid academic foundation are limited. Missing that chance could mean missing the future you have dreamed of. Now here in this paragraph, when we are starting, we can write a few more points in favor of extracurricular also, so that we can strike a balance that we are discussing both. So we can write a little more about extracurricular in favor of extracurricular also. That means they also have advantages. Then here I have written this, that is related to the previous one. Now This is one. This isn't to say extracurricular activities should vanish. They can, now I'm writing their advantages also. They can help you relax and build certain life skills, but they should never distract you from your main goal. Here we can write 3-4 more extracurricular advantages of extracurricular activities from the text. Should never distract you. The thing that I'm presenting here, that is just a kind of a sample. Okay, so that means you need to add more to this, but they should never distract you from your main goal in school, to learn, excel, and prepare for challenges ahead. Books may not always be as thrilling as a match or a performance, but they are the steady ladder that will help you climb to success. And when you are standing at the top, you'll be glad you chose them first. So this is something that is about article writing. I hope you are very clear about argumentative and persuasive kind of articles, and next time when you are going to write an article, you will be clear about it. You can do one more thing. You can take the text that I have here, you can write your own article on the basis of these two texts that we have here. That's all for now. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.